the street. And then, one day, miraculously, she was at my house. We'd been talking every day on Instant Messenger, but in person we still didn't really talk at all, so I don't know how I had the nerve to ask her to come over, but I did, and she was there, and it was just the two of us, and as always, I couldn't think of anything to say. And so I asked if she wanted to go for a walk down through the woods. This was late spring in Western New York, when everything is green and lush, and every afternoon the light is hazy and honeyed and warm. She and I took that same walk my mom and I had taken so many times, past our barn and through the field and the bushes and the trees, all the way down through to the creek. And it was there at the creek where she turned to me and she looked at me and she told me that I always made her feel super awkward. And she was sorry, but she only wanted to be friends. And so just like that, without ever getting to date this girl that I was in love with, I got dumped. After her parents came to pick her up, I took off running. I went farther into those woods than I'd ever been, so far that I ended up at the highway, which I crossed. And then I went down through the town cemetery and the town golf course and all the way into the center of town. And in the center of town, I just happened to run into my best friend, Paul. And I was so relieved to see him, but I couldn't bring myself to tell him what had happened. I was certain that it was both a great love story and completely pathetic. Afterward, for months, I was embarrassed and heartsick, and on Instant Messenger, I was always away. And my away messages were often dashboard confessional lyrics. And I think I could tell you that that was the end of the story. And I think if I did tell you that, that would be kind of like saying that God lives up in the sky. And the truth is, the story really didn't end there, although I was sure that it had. A couple years later, when she and I were both juniors in high school, we got cast as husband and wife in the school play. We were Mr. and Mrs. Keller in the very serious drama, The Miracle Worker. The story of how Helen Keller learned to read and write. And all of a sudden, I didn't need to think of anything to say to her anymore. It was all just written out for me. And I don't know if that's why, but even in between scenes, she and I found we could talk easily and joke easily. And we laughed a lot, like more than I'd ever laughed with anybody. In the play, I was supposed to be Helen Keller's father, this like stern, sad, Southern man. And I really wanted to do a good job, but at rehearsal, all I thought about was talking with her and laughing with her. There was this one moment where she and I were laughing so hard we were just crying. And then the lights came up and the scene started, and I had to slam my fist on the dining room table and shout, "Damn it, Katie, she can't see." That's the Southern accent that I prepared for the role. And so the play was bad. But by the end of it, she and I were headed out on our first date. We went to Applebee's. It was early winter in Western New York when everything is gray. The slush on the ground was gray, the strip mall was gray, the sky was low and gray, and
Sounds
to
like the
me,
start of the Wizard
on
of
that
Oz.
night, it all felt endless, and it seemed entirely possible that God lives everywhere.